Hi, everybody. This is Cherie Mitchell from Inclusive Media Inc. And I am here today because I'm very concerned. As you know, I'm a disability civil rights activist and self advocate. And a lot of you know me. And one of the things that I've been involved with is nursing home transition, helping people to move it back into the community. And I've also been a great supporter of OLMSTEAD. And if many of you know, OLMSTEAD was a Supreme Court decision that said that they had to provide services in the most integrated setting. And now the DOJ has gone and published a thing. So let's get into that because this is an alert that it's time to go get back to work, even though it, feels helpless and hopeless. We can't stop. Not if we don't want to end up back in those settings. So we've got to keep the fight up and going. So let me talk about what is the Olmsted decision. In 1999, the Supreme Court ruled in Olmsted versus LC, Lois Curtis, that unnecessary institutionalization of people with disabilities is discrimination under the Americans with Disabilities Act. This became known as the integration mandate, which requires public entities to provide services in the most integrated settings appropriate to a person's need. In simple terms, if a person with a disability can live successfully in the community with appropriate supports, the state generally should not force that person into a nursing home, an institution, or other segregated settings like group homes. So, and this was a law of the land. It was a Supreme Court decision in that case. And now DOJ has come out and said that that's not so anymore. So recently, the DOJ Office of Legal Counsel issued an opinion stating that the Supreme Court's Olmsted decision did not actually create a broad requirement that states provide community-based services. Instead, the opinion argues that Olmsted only prevents unjustified institutionalization and that the commonly understood integration mandate goes beyond what the court required. And many disability organizations view this as a major departure from more than 25 years of federal enforcement by DOJ. So I think that we have to realize, guys, that under Trump, the DOJ isn't going to do the right thing. Not without a fight. So that's my opinion. Why are disability advocates like myself concerned? If this integration becomes federal policy, advocates worry that it could make it easier for states to reduce or deny home and community-based services. And I know that a lot of us can't live in the community without those services. And what's getting me is money follows the person has already proved that it is cheaper to Medicaid and a higher quality of care. But here we are in 2026, thanks to Trump, having to fight this again, fight this battle again. So we need to be stepping up to the plate, guys. You need to be contacting your federal legislators and sending them a email and saying, you need to stand up for people with disabilities. And you need to help protect our rights. So, because it's not right. It's just not right. I mean, Money Follows the Person was a program that we fought for. And it's a program that helps people get out of nursing facilities and back into the community and helps them get the services that they need. And now they're trying to take those services with their big ugly bill. They pulled a whole bunch of money out of Medicaid, and now they're trying to stick us all back in. They're trying to lock us all back up. And the thing about it is, Money Follows the Person has proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is cheaper for people with disabilities to live in the community. And after all these years, we've proven that it's also a better form of care, a higher quality of care. Because being in an institution or being in a nursing home is what's known as a the average caregivers is 1 to every 20 people, where with OLMSTEAD you get your own caregiver, so it's 1 to 1. It doesn't take an idiot much to figure out that's a higher, better level of care. But what's even better is that Money Follows the Person has proven that it is cheaper to Medicaid for people to live in their own homes and pay for their own homes out of their Social Security than to lock them away in these places. So we've got to step up to the plate and we got to say, no way, Jose. And we need to tell those federal legislators that they need to protect our rights. I've already written John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. I've written Hank Johnson, and I sent all of them an email today about this. So there's also an article that came out from from Reeves that is on my Facebook page. So go find Cherie Mitchell's Facebook page and read that article as well. So, why are disability advocates concerned? If this interpretation becomes federal policy, advocates worry that it could make it easier for states to reduce or deny home and community-based services, weaken federal enforcement of community integration rights, and increase reliance on nursing homes and other institutions. It makes it more difficult for people with disabilities to obtain DOJ assistance in enforcing their civil rights, shifts more responsibility onto individuals and advocacy organizations to file lawsuits themselves. So, guys, it's time to step up to the plate. I mean, we fought all those years ago, but now we're going to have to fight again. So I'm bringing you this alert. Please contact your federal legislators and let them know that they need to protect the civil rights of people with disabilities. Because if you think it's going to stop there, you're like an ostrich with your head in the sand. They're going to go after the ADA next. I mean, we fought for years to try to protect the ADA, and it's already been dumbed down some already. So, I cannot express my concern more than what I'm doing now. Please step up to the plate. Contact your federal legislators. I mean, this is a dangerous time for people with disabilities. If we don't step up to the plate and fight for our rights, we're going to lose them. So, guys, click the subscribe and click the thumbs up if you agree with me. And in the future, I'm going to do a PowerPoint on the Americans with Disabilities Act. July is the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and the Olmstead decision was where the Supreme Court gave an interpretation to what the Americans with Disabilities Act said around providing services and doing it in the most integrated setting. That means in the community. And now the Trump administration is trying to roll that back. So we got to fight, guys. Step up to the plate. Thank you. Have a good day.